morning, everyone. This is Aileen with ANANABELLA'S, and welcome to Tuesday Tidbits. If you are new to the channel, I am so happy that you found me. I hope that you will subscribe to the channel as well as ring the bell so that you'll get notified whenever I release any new videos. I usually do that on Tuesdays with Tuesday Tidbits, and then again on Fridays with our Friday Floss Tube. But we might be posting a few more times in the next week or so as we are preparing for Nashville Market. So be on the lookout. Be sure to check back every day, as I will be updating that video later today, and you can see the very latest items that have come out since last Friday, because pre-orders are going to be cut off any day now. I'll be cutting those off. The designers are mostly cutting off the pre-orders between the 19th and 22nd, so stay tuned. And if you are a returning subscriber, I am so happy that you're here and that you came back on a Tuesday to spend just a few minutes with me. Tuesday Tidbits are just, very quick 10-minute, maybe 20-minute segments that focus on some cross-stitch hacks or some new information if you're new to cross-stitching that you might be able to use as you start your cross-stitch journey, whether that's how to stitch something or how to finish something. That's what Tuesday Tidbits is all about. So today is going to be a very quick video, as I've promised. Today's a cross-stitch hack. So I was in the process of finishing our very latest releases. You're seeing them first right here. This is our St. Patrick's Day trio. So our trio consists of 3 different cross-stitch designs that you receive in your kit. So I made the sign, and then I also made 2 pillows. So what I want to talk to you about today is not how I actually did the pillow, although I'll touch on it, because I'm going to do a separate tutorial on that. I'll do a tutorial on how to do finishing of the pillows. But what I wanted to show you as far as a hack goes is this great product that I use to make it really, really simple, depending upon, how you finish the back. So let me show you our little pinch proof. And then, you stitch, before you stuff it, you cut your fabric the size that you want it, same size of the front, same size of the back, and then you stitch it together, right sides together. So I stitched my front, my design, and my back piece of fabric right sides together. After I stitched it, what I did is I took the back fabric and I pulled it up a little bit. Now this was before I stuffed it, and I made a small X underneath here, a small X in my fabric. That is the hole that I used to stuff my pillow, okay? So I stuffed my pillow, got it the way that I wanted, but then I had this gaping hole. So what I do is, and I did the same thing on this one, so I could show you both. So this is my front of my little guy, and this says Lucky and Blessed, and then this is my back. And I did the same thing, stitched the front design, the front fabric swatches, as well as my back. I stitched that all together, and then I made an X very carefully in my backing fabric only, and then stuffed it. And then what I do is I just take a piece of fabric, I cut a square that's large enough to fit on the back to cover the hole, okay? Now there's a lot of different ways that you can adhere this, and what today's Tuesday tip is about this great product called Fabric Fusion. So Fabric Fusion is something that if you don't have it in your stash, you should probably add it. If you check out the link below, there's a link to my Amazon store, and you will be able to find this on Amazon if you'd like. You can also find this at Michael's and Joann's and really any craft store. But I just wanted to let you know that this Fabric Fusion is what I used on both pillows to adhere my little backing, okay? So what I do is I just take the little piece of fabric and then very, very thin line I run all the way along. Yes, and I would trim this up if I was using this right now. So a very thin line all the way along. And then I put just a teeny little bit right here. I adhere it to the back the way that I want it, and then I press down on a firm surface very, very firmly, Okay. Now today I learned something new that I also want to share. You might be familiar with fabric fusion, but you might not know how to dry it quickly. So fabric fusion on the back, it says to let it dry 2 to 4 hours. Well, Elaine didn't have 2 to 4 hours to let this dry because I had to get to the office and film this for you. So after I adhered it, it was still wet. I went ahead and got out my hot glue gun, and then I just chose a button that coordinated, with my pinch proof and just applied the button here with a hot glue gun. Did the same thing here. And then to get this to dry very fast rather than waiting 2 to 4 hours, as I just went into the bathroom and took my blow dryer and I blow dried very gently the entire side, where each side that was glued, until it was dry. And you would never know that this was glued on. It came out beautifully. Now, if you're a hand sewer and you like to sew, you could certainly sew this on, right? But I just didn't have time, and I wanted to show you a real quick hack if you don't have time to hand stitch your little swatch when covering that method of finishing and stuffing your little pillows. So there is pinch proof. Here is Lucky and Blessed. And I did the same thing here. I'm having a horrible time with my sewing machine. So when I went to stitch my rickrack, I got about this far with my sewing machine, and then, like I've told you before, if you've been watching my channel, my thread kept breaking. So I was getting very frustrated. I think it broke 6 or 7 times. I changed the needle, I had a walking foot on. I went back to my regular foot, but I'm a woman on a mission, and I wasn't going to sit there and fight with this machine again. So I said, you know what, let me use the fabric fusion. So from here to here is stitched, but then from here to here is my fabric fusion, and it is nice and tight. This thing is not coming off. This did dry overnight. I did not use the blow dryer. It dried overnight, and it looks absolutely perfect. Okay, well, perfectly imperfect, but there you go. And you know what, I have to say, I actually think I like the fabric fusion across here rather than my stitching. The stitching tends to pull, whereas no matter what I do, so hints would be good. And the fabric fusion just really lays nice and flat. You can't see the threads, even though I matched my thread as close as I could. So Lucky and Blessed, pinch proof, pinch proof. And then the last one in the St. Patrick's trio was Lucky Charm. And this was just put on a frame from Hobby Lobby. This I finished with just some mounting board and a piece of fabric I had in my stash. Then I took another piece of mounting board, a 5x7, and just put it right on there, and that's it. And a little piece of green ribbon. This came with a black and white gingham ribbon, but I had a nice piece of green ribbon hanging, and there you go. So that's one. And the 2 other pillows are 2 and 3. And that is part of our St. Patrick's trio. So try fabric fusion. Let me know what you think. I love it, and I'll probably use it in the future, for my finishing. Now, what's really nice about when you think about finishing and using fabric fusion or what have you, is when my pillows are on display. This one will be in a dough bowl. This one will be sitting on my tier tray probably, or in my on my hutch. No one's turning it over, really. So, depending upon how particular you are. But I think it came out really well, really well. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed Tuesday Tidbits. Next week we'll be back. Hopefully I will have a full tutorial next week, so the video will be a little bit longer. So I'm hoping to work on that for you. I'm not going to do a stay tuned to watch the Nashville update. I'm going to record that or update that this afternoon when I get home from the shop. And then you will see another video later today. It will say Nashville Market update and deadline. So please watch for that. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, spending just a few minutes with me today. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.